In this video, we are going to make a graph of total revenue and total cost, and we are going to use these two graphs to determine the best output. Remember that the best output is the one where the firm will maximize his profit or it will minimize his losses. In our specific case, the firm will maximize his profit at the best output. So the firm will use these two graphs to determine the best output. This is the goal. So now we are going to make the total revenue curve, and we know from the previous video that the total revenue curve starts from the origin and it is an upward sloping line and it's a straight line. Okay. And the total cost curve, uh, we have already made the total cost curve in the class and we have studied the shape of the total cost curve. The total cost in the short run will first increase slowly or at a decreasing rate, and then it will start to increase much faster. So this is the shape of the total cost curve. Now, recall the profit formula. The profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost. So, when we subtract total cost from total revenues, we get either a profit or a loss. If total costs are greater than total revenue, it means if costs are greater than revenues, then there is going to be then this formula will give us a negative value, and there is going to this which indicates that there is economic loss. If total revenues are less than total cost, if total revenues are more than total cost, sorry, if total revenues are more than total cost, then this formula will give us a positive answer, which means that there is a economic profit. Okay. Now, let us focus on this. This tells us that if you subtract total cost from total revenue, then you will either be given a profit, then it will either tell you a profit or loss. It will either show you profit or loss. This means that the difference between total revenue and total cost indicates profit or loss. So in the graph, the difference between the total revenue curve and the total cost curve indicates either a profit or a loss. For example, at production level of 1, at production level of 1, the total cost is represented by this point, and let's call this point point B. And at production level 1, the total revenue is given by this point. Let's call this a point A. So when we subtract A from B, we either get a profit or a loss. So at production level 1, the total revenue is given by A, and at production level 1, the total cost is given by point B. So if we subtract uh, uh, B from A, we get either a profit or a loss. This means that the difference between A and B will either give us a profit or a loss, and this is represented by the vertical distance between A and B. This is represented by a vertical distance between A and B. Um, so what the conclusion is that the vertical distance between total revenue and total cost will indicate either a profit or a loss. In this specific case, you can see that total cost is greater or is more than the total revenues. So total cost is more than total revenues, and this means that this vertical distance is showing us a loss. So this vertical distance is showing us a loss. And you can see up till or even over here as well, at this point at production level 2, the total cost is more than total revenue. This again indicates, this vertical distance again indicates a loss. So up till this point over here, the vertical distance represents economic, shows economic loss, because total revenue, the total cost line is above the total revenue line. Okay. Similarly, if you look over here as well, the total cost line is lying above the total revenue line. So even from here till this point, we can say that there is a loss, economic loss. Now let us look at the point of intersection. The point of intersection is the point where total revenue is equal to total cost. And this point, the point where total revenue is equal to total cost, is telling us the point where total revenue is equal to total cost is the break-even point. So break-even point is the point where all the cost of a firm is being covered and the total cost is exactly equal to the total revenue. And another name for break-even point is normal profit. So it means that the firm is earning just enough to cover all his cost. So we call break-even point the normal profit as well. The another word for break-even point is normal profit. So these 2 points over here, there are 2 points of intersection. Number one over here and the other is over here. At this point as well, total revenue is equal to total cost. So we have two break-even points. Now let us talk about this middle section. In this section, the total revenues line is lying above the total cost line. So total revenue line is lying above the total cost line. This means that this middle section indicates profits. So the vertical distance over here, for example, over here, the total revenue point is lying above the total cost point. Or we can do this one over here. So let's say this is production level 6. So at production level 6, the total revenue point is lying above the total cost point. That means when total revenues are greater than total cost, we get profit. And this vertical distance is telling us that there is economic profit. So all these points, they are indicating economic profit as long as total revenue curve is lying on above the total cost curve. So we have already figured out that when total revenue curve is lying above um, total cost, there is profit. Now the firm wants to find, remember our goal is that we want to find the output in which there is maximum profit. We have already determined the area or the section in which there is profit, but we want to find the output in which there is maximum profit. So how will we find that? How will we find the output in which there is maximum profit? We already know that from this point till this point, we already know that from this point till this point there is profit because TR is greater than total cost. But how? Because TR curve is lying above the total cost, so we know that from this point to this point there is profit. But how will we find the output at which the profit is maximum? Now this is represented by by the distance. So we know that all these vertical distances represent um, profits at each level of production. So at each level of production, all these vertical distances represent profit. So for example, at the fifth level of production, the profit is given by, at the fifth level of production, the profit is given by this vertical distance, by this point over here and this point over here. And you can see the difference. This vertical distance represents profit at the fifth level of production. So the maximum profit is given by maximum distance. The greater the distance between total revenue and total cost curve, the maximum is going to be the profit, the maximum profit we will get. So if total revenue, the point number one is total revenue should be lying above the total cost curve. This will give us the profit. And the greater the distance between total revenue and total cost curve, the greater the distance, the maximum profit we will get. So in a previous example, in a previous table, we were getting maximum profit at production level 9. And if we are getting maximum profit at production level 9, so at this production level, the maximum profit is going to be given by the maximum vertical distance. So over here, the maximum distance between TR and TC will indicate maximum profit, and this is occurring at production level 9 units. So number one is to look for the section where TR is lying above total cost. This will tell you that there is a profit in this section. And number second is uh, the maximum profit will occur where the distance is maximum, where the distance between TR and um, total cost is maximum. Okay. Now I sketched I sketched the graph to help you explain. But if you draw according to scale, then this is the actual graph of the example of the table example that we did in the previous video. So you can see over here, this is the total revenue line. The blue line gives the total revenue line, and the red line gives the total cost line. And if TR is lying above the total cost line, that means that this area indicates profit, and the maximum distance between TR and TC will show you the maximum profit, and the production level where profit is maximum, the firm will choose that output. In this case, it will choose 9 units of output. Stop.